Hello, and welcome back to Music with Mascots. I'm your host, Ron Retzstein, and today I have something interesting to open up and unbox. It's a blue box. It's a very blue box. John Coltrane, live in Finland, 1961 to 1962. This is number 426 from the series in the Lost Recordings. You can go to lostrecordings.com and see what they got. I don't know how many of these they printed up in this boxed set series. They do have regular black vinyl versions of this as well. John Coltrane. Let's see what's inside the box. Okay. Very nice, very pretty. I've never bought one of these boxed sets like this from the Lost Recordings before, although I've gotten some marvelous, marvelous recordings from them. John Coltrane live in Finland. Okay. Got this little tissue paper. Very nice. Then we have the regular old jacket cover, sleeve, with no record in it. We've got the regular linear notes and picture of Coltrane. Nice picture. Then we have what do we have here? Okay. John Coltrane, tenor and soprano sax. Eric Dolphy, alto sax and flute. McCoy Tyner, piano. Reggie Workman, bass. Elvin Jones, drums. Then we have the asterisk, which for certain tracks, and I'll get to those in a second, John Coltrane, McCoy Tyner, Jimmy Garrison, and Elvin Jones. So on disc 1, we have my favorite things. 20 minutes, lots of improv there. Side 2, Blue Train, and I want to talk about you. And on record 2, Impressions on side C, track 1. Those all have the first group of players. Second group of players plays I Want to Talk About You every time we say goodbye, and then Bye Bye Blackbird on side D, side 2 of record 2. So those are different versions of some of the same pieces. Excellent. Then we have a little Lost Recordings, and what they always do is they give you a download code so that you can download a high quality, high res file of what you bought. Sapphire edition. Now you get the story here of how they made this discovery. And they were finally able to connect with the Finnish archives. YLE? I don't know. I knew a girl from Finland once. I still see her on Facebook, but I don't think that I can get in contact with her to learn to pronounce that. It took almost a year before we were able to listen to the first audio excerpts among unreleased recordings of Ella Fitzgerald, Bill Evans, Sarah Vaughan, and Ben Webster, of which I have some of. We discovered 2 concerts by John Coltrane. The initial audio quality of the tapes sucked. All right, I changed the wording. It wasn't until July 2025 that we personally traveled to Helsinki with all our equipment. For 4 full days, we listened to dozens of original tapes. On the last morning, we decided to listen to the Coltrane tapes, though with little hope. We set the first one onto our tape machine. The first few seconds were remarkable, but the sound quality quickly deteriorated. Never had the tape left so much residue on the playback heads. All right. So Anyway, Kevin Gray, the infamous Kevin Gray. Thank you, Lord, for Kevin Gray. New cuts. Each record is made from a new master and benefits from a new cut by Kevin Gray. Kevin Gray, the world's finest specialist. Yes. New 100% virgin ultra clear compound. Total absence of recycled material ensures the greatest possible purity of the records and total fidelity to the original master. Now, I am big on recycling. I try and recycle every piece of plastic that comes through my hands. I don't succeed. I don't know that it's possible to succeed, but we even recycle the plastic bags that we get by taking them back to the grocery store and recycling them. At the school where I work, they don't recycle, but I take my plastic home. I even take some of the students' plastic home with me to recycle. So I don't generally mind recycling. However, that being said, with my vinyl, I am very particular, and I have no problem with them using no recycled plastic in the vinyl that I'm going to listen to. 200-gram record, greater inertia eliminates unwanted resonances. Okay, I'm all right with that. So does a record weight. New pressing cycles, longer temperature rises and falls during pressing ensures the perfect flatness of the record. Yeah, that makes sense because they're allowing that heating and cooling to take place over a longer period of time so that there isn't any warpage. And I like that. Rigorous quality control. We know it because they said it here. But I have found all the purchases that I've made on the Lost Recordings to be of very, very high quality. The Lost Recordings.store. Okay. Side A. Very pretty. Very pretty. You can see my thumb through that very clearly. You can see the records on the back shelf very clearly. You can see me. It probably blocks the sound a little bit. Okay. I'm going to set this down. I'm going to put a record weight on it. There's a little static as I pulled it out of the cover, so I'm going to use my Kai Laser anti-static tool, my new one. And turn it on to spin while I zap it. Okay. Now, if you saw my video on the Kai Laser, somebody made the comment on there that it's very hard to squeeze. It is. So I made the comment back to him that I can tell my wife I'm getting exercise down here. It is a little hard to squeeze. Also, there have been videos recently stating that you need to point it down, pull, and then release out there. I did some experiments. That's not true. You don't need to do that. Matter of fact, you're better off not doing that, as I noticed it was much more effective to just pull and release. Turn on my amplifier. I have the Denon turntable with the D103R moving coil cartridge. And I'm going to play this, but because of copyright stuff, I'm going to have to turn this off. And I'll come back with a review of what the sound is like and what the music is like. Well, here I am 32 seconds later, having listened to both albums and ready to review the music. Amazing concert. Amazing concert. If I had been there, I would have been 2 years old. Wouldn't have gotten a thing. My mother would have hated it. My father might have enjoyed it. He was a Pete Fountain fan. Okay, here's my track listing. Here we go. Okay. Set that there. for now. And here we go. All right. Record 1. Side 1, my favorite things. Great performance, great performance. The performance from everybody on here is great. Elvin Jones is great. Reggie Workman, McCoy Tyner are phenomenal. And this is this performance probably get a 9 out of 10. The recording quality. Okay. John Coltrane and Eric Dolphy come out beautifully on this. The other three are in the background and a little bit muddy, which is, to be expected when you hear the description of what they found. When Tyner comes in on his solo, Kevin Gray does boost that signal a little bit. You can hear the solo better. The signal is not nearly as clean as it is for Coltrane and Dolphy. You get great sound for Coltrane and Dolphy, and frankly, that's who you're listening to on this piece. Blue Train, side B. Blue Train, and I Want to Talk About You. You do hear more from McCoy Tyner. Again, same is true for Coltrane and Dolphy, especially when Dolphy on all these pieces comes in on flute. The flute is just gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. And the sound quality on the woodwind is just beautiful, just beautiful. So you've almost got like a split level of recording quality. The lead players, 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10. The background players, 6 or 7 out of 10, sometimes if that. Here you do hear Tyner a little more clearly when he is playing on these two tracks. And I guess I felt they were able to get more out of the tapes than they did for the My Favorite Things track. And it was worth it. Record 2, Impressions. Now this is with the first group. Great tune, great performance. Recording pretty much flows in line here. Now on record 2, tracks 2, 3, and Bye Bye Blackbird, which takes up the whole side D of track 2. We have a different lineup. Okay. We have Coltrane and Tyner. We do have Elvin Jones on drums, and we have Jimmy Garrison on bass. Jimmy Garrison has a nice bass solo on Bye Bye Blackbird. I wish we could hear it better. And they were not able to bring that up to the standards of some of the other solos. But I have to say that I felt the playing of Coltrane and Tyner on these 3 tracks kind of reached another level here in this concert. Now, it doesn't show me here which one was recorded at which time. These are obviously 2 dates. One of them was 61, one of them was 62. And this is before Coltrane did all the work with the Impulse label, and he was not fully into the free jazz mode. So you're hearing him right before he's making that transition. And it's interesting to hear his solos on this, and you can feel the pull of that free jazz coming in, especially on these longer solos, on the longer pieces. And it's really cool to listen to, having listened to the later music and the earlier music. Now, anyone who went to this concert would not have heard that later music and might be listening to it kind of like, wow, what is this? Is he going to keep going in this direction? Interesting. So, from that perspective, it's a very interesting concert. And, kind of when you're listening to this, kind of listen to that, listen for that in the music. And it's there. At least to my mind, it's there. I heard it. Maybe I was listening for something that wasn't there, and my brain put it there. You never know with these things. Our brains do that. But I really felt that in those last 3 tracks, there was a different feel. It was a different band. It was a different year. So, yeah, there was a different feel. Also, it was just Coltrane. He was out front. He wasn't there with Dolphy. McCoy Tyner, behind the keyboards is a separate presence. Even if you're next to the keyboard player and the piano's on the other side, it's still a separate feel. Different from having another front man next to you. So you'd have Coltrane and Dolphy, one steps in, one steps out, during the different solos. And here, with the keyboard, Coltrane would step back, McCoy Tyner would be exactly where he is, and he would just be playing solos. Kevin Gray pulls that out of the sound and manages to elevate it a little bit. Now, I don't know if it's the quality of the piano or the quality of the sound that does not let him, or he is not able to bring the sound out. Oh, I have company. Come, Nani. Nani. One of my mascots. Come here. Come on up. Come on. Come say hello. Oh. Let's say hello. This is Nani. Named after the opera Ernani. Yes. She is a very sweet dog. She is a golden doodle. The doodle did not take. But she is very sweet. So even though I'm allergic to her, we kept her. Yeah. That's right. She doesn't care so much about music, but she likes her people. She is a people dog. You're a people dog, aren't you? Okay. Sometimes she'll walk down here and just stop in and say hello. So you don't see her as much as some of the other mascots. Where was I? Okay, so Coltrane, I felt that he kind of took the playing up to a different level here on these pieces. Maybe he felt that that's because he felt that more of the burden felt on him. Maybe that's what he wanted. Maybe this clearly was going to be his wheelhouse later on. And he was very comfortable in it. You could hear that in the music. You could hear that with the quartet. There's a level of comfort here that might not have been there in the earlier tracks. I don't know. Listen to it. Let me know what you think. By the way, what's your favorite live Coltrane album? Let me know in the comments. Also, if you made it this far, please hit like and subscribe. Let me know if you like this type of comment or if you prefer the equipment review stuff that I do. I kind of like both. I hate to see just reviews of one or the other. I think it's all about everything. Everything lends to the total experience, but in the end, it's all about the music. So even if you tell me you absolutely hate reviews of music, they're still going to be here. I'll just suggest that you skip them. It's pretty plain which ones are which. So, thanks again for listening. Remember, we share this planet. Be kind to one another. Listen to music. Enjoy the music. Hit like, hit subscribe. Watch another video. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day. Oh, yeah, we had a blizzard. I'm snowed in.